Hello and welcome back to the channel. In today's video, I wanted to cover how you can handle authentication in your projects. So all we need to do is actually just run this one line of code, and this will actually authenticate our user in our application. But say for instance, if you want to basically pass some data, like a key value pair, you can also just use the data parameter like that, and then you'll be able to retrieve that data back later in the project. So for instance, just call .data, and that will basically return back what you've, originally authenticated the user with. Here's an example here. So let's imagine we send an API request to our backend, and we get some kind of object that has a token, and we can basically use that then to authenticate the user on subsequent requests to our API. We could do something like this. We could basically call auth authenticate, and then just pass in a key value pair, have token ID, and then just basically save the token that we'll basically retrieve back from our API. And then again, we'd be able to basically access that data later in our app like this. And if the user opens the app again, or if it's from a closed state, you'd also be able to still retrieve this data. The only time this data won't be available is obviously if you use to log out of the app. So for instance, if we call auth.logout, then basically all that session information on the authentication is going to be wiped and the user will be not authenticated. So then this would return false, and they wouldn't be authenticated. And the main reason you'd want to do this is that you can take advantage of the authenticated route method. So this will just basically allow you to override what the initial route is if the user is authenticated. And then this would become basically the initial route, so that we just send the user to the profile page if they're authenticated. If they're not authenticated, they would basically hit the initial route. So let's do a quick demo just to show you. So let's make a register page, for example. And then let's also create a dashboard page too. So we can use make dashboard, and then we should have those two pages now in our router. So you can see they've been added below. And the dashboard page is going to be the authenticated route, and this is just going to be the initial route for now, just to basically demonstrate it. And let's go and build again. Okay, cool. So now we're on the register page, and inside here, I'm just going to create a really simple UI. Okay, cool. So this is the layout of scaffolded, and you can see now when we tap the login button, we're basically going to call the authenticate method and just pass in a dummy token. Obviously you'd probably want to handle an API request before here to your backend to authenticate and get this token, but this is just an example. And we're also using another helper here. It's called toAuthenticated route, and that will just basically take us to the authenticated route which we've defined in our router, which will be this one. So let's give it a go and see what happens. So I'm just going to head over to the register page, and you can see now we're on the dashboard page. Okay, cool. So what I'm going to do now is just basically display the authentication data, what we've saved. Okay, so I think this should work. Let's give it a go. And you can see there, that's the token that we've basically stored to the session. And if we continue to basically rerun the app, you'll notice we're still on the dashboard page, and that's because obviously we're authenticated in the project. If we want to log out, we can just basically call that logout helper method. So let's have that there, and let's just have another button. So let's try this. So let's build and run, and we've got our widgets there. Let's just make them centered. Okay, so this is what we've got at the moment. So now we've got the logout button, and here we're just calling logout here, and this is going to route us to the initial route. So one thing, if you're interested in knowing, you can basically route to initial, route to authenticated, and also just use route to as normal. So for instance, if you wanted to go to the home page, you could do that, or use navigation type and just pass push and forget all. That will just basically remove all the other pages off the stack and just push to that page. But let's give this a go, see what happens. So if we log out, now we're back on register, and if we build and run again, you'll notice we're still logged out. So that's a quick introduction into authentication in Nylo. Please like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video.